Welcome to City Talk. It's a weekly radio program, it's a podcast, it's a television program. It's an opportunity for us here at the city to keep you informed about what's going on and the happenings, what's going on in the city of Waco. I'm Larry Holsey, Director of Municipal Information and Communications for the city, and I'll be your host for this program. Today I'd like to welcome Sophie Martinez with the Community Outreach and Support Division of the Waco Police Department. Sophie, always good to have you in here. We traditionally have this program on the week of Thanksgiving, but now we're kind of a little behind, and we're having a little after Thanksgiving because you've got a lot of information that you always like to share with our listeners and viewers about how to have a safe holiday. Everybody's Black Friday's already passed and everything now, but it's time for everybody to get excited about shopping and holiday and things. So we're going to start off, and you always have a really good list to keep us on track so we can keep moving and everything else.
Yes.
So the Waco Police Department wants to remind us a lot of different things on how to have safe holidays, because normally at this time, the bad guys and girls are out to get you too. How can we avoid being taken advantage of?
And usually the holidays is when the crime goes up some because of the holidays, because our criminal element knows that people are carrying money, they're going to be spending money. Whether it's cash, credit cards, they know the houses are going to have gifts and, things that could attract a burglar. So, first and foremost, we want to be very mindful when we go shopping. From the time you leave your house, before you even decide to leave your house, make a plan, what you're going to do, where you're going to go, how much you think you're going to spend. Are you going to be using credit cards, cash? And if so, how much cash should you have with you? Which credit cards? Do you necessarily have to take all your credit cards, or can you just take one or two? And then kind of, making kind of like a reconnaissance mission. Okay, this is where I'm going to go first. This is where I'm going to go next. And then, from what time to what time. You want to try and avoid, being out past the hours of darkness, because the hours of darkness is a criminal's friend. And so we want to try and avoid that as much as possible. Also, too, do you really have to go by yourself? Can you, have somebody go with you, a friend, a relative, just to have that company, but also to, more than one pair of eyes is better. And, the more company you have, the less vulnerable you become to be a victim of a crime as well.
Well, I know a lot of times people have to shop with their kids. I mean, we're shopping for Santa and things like that and helping out. But at the same time, when the kids are with you, you're trying to keep them away from, but then you don't want them to get too far away from while you do your transactions. So it'd be better, if possible, to get somebody, a family member, somebody to let the kids stay home or with them so you can go shop at ease and not be stressing and getting distracted, because that's what the criminal element is doing. They're watching for somebody that's getting frustrated and getting out of sorts as it is, and the pressure, and they're not thinking security.
You get focused on the shopping and who you need to get what, and then with kids, that can be extremely distracting too. Especially, the kids are going to get impatient because you're over here buying stuff for, older folks, and they want to look at the toys, or they want to go here, they want to go home, or, they just, the hustle and bustle may get to them as well. But if it's possible to leave them with a trusted adult, trusted babysitter, that's probably the best, action to take. But sometimes that's not possible. My husband and I, we didn't have family here in Waco. We still don't. And so there was nobody we could leave our daughter with. So what we would do is we would take her down the toy aisle, and she would be pointing out at toys and all. And then I would go to another part of the store, and then my husband would go get the toys, go pay for them, stick them in the trunk, and then he'd come and join us. And she never knew. Yep. So, you just got to come up with innovative ways, but the last thing you want to do is let the kids wander off to the toy department by themselves. Because, again, you do have, your pedophiles, your sex offenders that are looking for that child that may be by themselves, or they're in the position where they can choose that perfect moment to either abduct them or to victimize them in some way. Yeah. It could be something very covert, but then a lot of times they just go for it. They just grab a child and try to leave the store with them. So you want to talk to your child why it's important that they don't wander off. Give them rules. Stay in front of me where I can see you. I would always tell that to my daughter: stay in front of me, in front of the cart. Don't stand behind me. Stand walk in front where I can see you at all times. And as she got older, she'd get frustrated, but I know, walk in front. I said, yes. So, if you tell them when they're little, it sticks with them, and they know as they're growing up, they know where they got to be, what they got to do, what they can't do. So you want to talk to them about if they happen to get lost. Again, we get distracted. What if they wander off? They can't find you, you can't find them. So you want to talk to them and say, okay, if you do get lost, I want you to go to the register and stay there and tell the person at the register that you need to find your mom and dad. Again, that's why it's important to teach them mom and dad's name, phone number, so that way those people in the store can contact you so you can come get your child.
Absolutely. Nothing more traumatizing with if you were to have a situation like you just described happen.
Yes.
First of all, we're wanting to have a marvelous holiday season with our family, but to have somebody take one of our children,
yes,
and it does happen. As sad as it is, it happens. We all get the Amber Alerts and things like that. We know that some child, sweet, innocent child, has been snatched up and taken off by some bad guy or girl, and it's so scary. And so we just need to be smart.
Yes.
And that's what the show's about. We want to be.
Yes, and I've been in a situation where I believe it was my nephew, he kind of wandered off, and we immediately told one of the store employees. Immediately, they set their code into plan. They shut the doors in the front. Everybody started looking. He was hiding in the coat rack, thankfully.
Yeah.
But still, to watch him go into action, but also to the panic that you feel.
Absolutely.
You have no idea they're already out of the store.
But it's a compliment to the business owners and business operators that they do have a plan. And if you
Yes.
don't have a plan and you are a business owner, do something just like Sophie talked about. Let it be known that, hey, there is some kind of a code that you can lock the building down just a little bit and make sure somebody doesn't escape with an innocent, sweet child.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You're going to earn a lot of good customers for that, for being in
Yes.
that place.
And very important, carry a picture of your children. Very recent pictures, so in case this happens, you have that with you. Okay.
But you mentioned so much about large amounts of money, credit cards, flashing all that, or being not necessarily flashing it, but you're not keeping it private. You
Right.
need to keep it as quiet. And as you're running the credit card machine, you don't need to be counting your money and figure out. You got to be very discreet because there's other people looking over your shoulder, looking somewhere, trying to see what you have, and they can very quickly, if nothing else, zoom in with their camera and take a picture of your credit card number.
Yes,
and that's been done.
Very talented people out there
They are.
that will get your information some way, somehow. So, the big key is being vigilant. Like from the time you leave your house to while you're shopping and after the fact when you leave. You go to the ATM machine, go somewhere where it's populated. Don't go to these ATM machines that are out in a parking lot. Again, especially at nighttime, you want to avoid that at all costs. But during the holiday season, you want to try and avoid those anytime. Just go to somewhere. If you can go to your bank, go to your bank. Or inside a grocery store where there's a lot of people. But at the same time, again, watch your surroundings, ensure nobody is following you. And be very mindful they don't see how much money you're taking out.
And I've always heard, this is not me personally, don't carry a big purse.
Right. It's also been the rule. If you can avoid carrying a big purse, do so. Because a lot of times they may think that if you carry a large purse, then you have things of value, like a lot of cash in your purse, something that they can use if they steal it. But also too, it attracts attention to that criminal. So if you possibly can, a small purse, a small wallet, where, like I said, you take the cash that you need and the credit cards that you need in there. Keep it in a pocket that won't. Like an inside pocket of a coat, so that way if somebody tries to pickpocket you, it's not in the pockets in the back of your pants. So.
And I know you taught me this years ago too. I know we all like to look nice, and especially for the holidays, we want to wear some of our holiday attire and things like that. But a lot of ladies have some really nice jewelry, watches, things like that, and that's part of what you are sometimes. But you got to remember that sometimes you don't want to let people know that you do have these kind of things.
Right.
If nothing else, they're going to maybe figure out where you live and want to follow you home. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But it's being smart. You got to be
scale
smarter.
Scale down as much as possible.
The bad guys.
Yes.
And I'm going to and girls,
Uh-huh.
which I'm going to say are the dumb people. I don't like to use the word dumb, but people who commit crimes are basically
right. And going back to the purses, a lot of ladies carry those high dollar purses, and the criminal knows that. So if they take a purse, they know they may be able to get a couple $100s off of that purse.
Yeah, absolutely. The purse itself. Yeah.
Yes.
What the contents is.
Right.
Yeah.
So and even if you don't have much in the purse itself may bring them money.
All right, so we've Christmas shopped, and we're trying to do it during the daytime, not at nighttime. But let's say we're leaving our store now, especially if it is in the evening or dark, and we're now going to our car. Talk to us how to safely feel safe, first of all, and actually get to your car, and what we should do, because there's sometimes the parking lot is the camping grounds for the people who are trying to take advantage of you.
Right. So first off, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with packages. And if you have more than you can handle, have somebody, ask if somebody can walk out with you. Okay. Because again, one, they can help you, but two, again, you got somebody with you. If you're by yourself, especially, you got somebody with you that can minimize, again, that criminal that's looking for a victim. Okay. Before you leave the store, you want to get your keys out, have them ready so you can unlock them as you're walking up to your car. And as you're walking out, you want to look around. Who's parked by your car? Can you see your car? Does something give you an uncomfortable feeling? So if you are walking to your car, you're by yourself, and something just doesn't feel right, you need to listen to those instincts. Go back into the store and just see, ask, somebody at the store, can somebody come out with me? If they have a security officer, maybe that security officer can come out with you. A lot of stores, sometimes they hire off-duty officers, and I can almost guarantee that officer's going to walk out with you. And I mean, really, you have an officer walking with you, what are the chances are very minimal of something happening to you. But you want to have your keys ready. And so one thing I see a lot, you walk out to your car, and I see ladies especially, they start unloading their groceries, their packages, and the last thing they have is their purse in the cart. So that's the first thing you want to get into that car. Get it in there. Your baby. The other day I was walking down one of the parking lots at a grocery store, and the mama put the car seat on the ground. She was unloading her groceries, and I just cringed. You want to take that time. The groceries can be replaced, but if you have some person driving erratically in the parking lot, your baby's car seat, or your children are just standing out there, get them in the car. Just have them get in the car. You can buckle them up later.
Yeah.
Get them in the car, get your purse in the car, and then unload your packages.
Well, I know one of the things that you also taught me is when you arrive at a shopping center or something, try to avoid parking next to a large vehicle, like a van or something that may block the view, so that when you do come out, you can see your car better, and both sides, everybody can see it's more visible. It's nothing shaded and protected by having two big vehicles on either side.
Exactly. And again, if you don't feel comfortable with it, if you just question it, go back inside and see if you can get somebody to come out with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the kids are now in the car, strapped in now, okay, and you have your bags and everything quickly put into the trunk, out of sight. And if you have to go back into the store, that's the best place for them. So you don't want them in the back seat so somebody can break into your car.
Yes.
And you got a broken window in your car now. So put them in the trunk, out of sight, out of mind type of thing, and then go back in and do whatever shopping. But that's better than carrying a whole lot of packages and trying to carry them and all this kind of stuff.
Right. And really the best thing to do is that's why you plan your shopping. So when you go shopping and for that day, you want to bring your packages home. You don't want to start piling them up in the car, because eventually it is going to draw some attention. If you have like an SUV, if you have a vehicle that does not have a trunk and they're in plain view, you want to try and, as soon as you go shopping, go home and unload them. And then if you got to make a trip back out there, it sounds kind of inconvenient, but I would rather be inconvenienced a little bit than come out and my window's smashed and everything you just bought is gone.
Part of what you talked about at the very beginning, plan ahead what it is. It might be good just to plan to take a blanket of some kind. Get a dark blanket or something that covers everything and it's dark and it doesn't show anything. If you just joined us, we're visiting with Officer Sophie Martinez with the Community Outreach and Support Division of the Waco Police Department, whose job you all want to help protect people from being victims of crime.
Yes.
And sad as it is, this is a season not necessarily to be jolly, but to be taken advantage of if you don't protect yourself. And it's just like the COVID. If you don't wear your mask, if you don't wash your hands and all that, chances of getting COVID is going to be pretty good. Okay? So here are the simple things. Just do what Officer Sophie is saying and stay out of trouble and think ahead and be smarter than the bad guys and girls.
Right. We want to inconvenience them.
All the time it is. We've taken care of the kids. We got everybody locked in the car. Now we're going home. Okay? And we're getting home. Now what happens if you're driving and you just kind of feel, like you said earlier, a little insecure? You just got that intuition or something that's telling you somebody's following me.
Okay. So if you feel that somebody's following you, if you're close by the police department, drive into the police parking lot, get on your phone and say, hey, look, I'm coming up to the parking lot and I think this person is following me. This is what they're driving. We had an incident years ago where that happened. A person thought they were being followed, and in fact they were being followed. But by the time this person got to our department, police, they pulled over the person, and it turned out to be a good deal. He wound up getting arrested for other charges and all. And the person that called us was safe. So it does work. It does work. If you're not close to a police department, a heavily populated area, a fire department, anywhere that there's people, and then you want to call police, let them know where you're at and what you think, and if you can give them a description of the vehicle, if you can see the person in the vehicle, if you know the person, you want to let them know. If you have your kids in the car and they can read the plate number for you, tell them to read the plate number for you, and give as much information as you can to police. A heavily populated area, police department if you're close by, or a fire department.
And don't go directly home.
Don't go directly home.
If you really feel like you're being followed or something, don't go home. That's your safe place only if you can get in it. And you're pretty much alone there. So you go to a public place, number one, until this all gets sorted out. Then you go home. Okay.
And that's why you find various routes to go home. Not too long ago, I had a funny feeling about a vehicle behind me. So I had turned down my street, and they turned down my street too. So I just took a different route and just, kind of weaved around the neighborhood and stuff and waited to see if I would see it. And it wound up going a different direction and all. And then I went home after that fact.
Yeah.
So
when we get home, we need to get in our garage if we have a garage and close the door.
But be vigilant as you get out of your car in your garage, as you're closing your garage door, just, scan and make sure nobody's outside ready to run in. Yeah. So be ready for that.
Because people they're scoping out the situation.
Yes.
They're looking for the weak, the vulnerable, the people who have things that they want. And so you protect yourself and you make sure, like Officer Sophie said, don't just go into the garage and close the door. Make sure nobody's around. Once you're in there, then you're securely okay. And but now let's talk about decorating our homes. Sometimes we used to always have our Christmas trees in the front. We decorate our packages. We'd put them under the tree, and it was just a display window that says, "Look at all the things I have for Christmas."
Yes. I don't have a front window, so
well, a lot of people do, and it's so pretty though to drive by. You decorate your home, put the lights on it. You want to show off your tree. Right.
So, as pretty as that is, again, we want to think crime prevention. We want to think. I want to lessen the chances of becoming a victim of a burglary, especially after you've bought all those gifts. That's why it's good when you have a garage. People can't see what you have bought. But also, too, you don't want to display it in front of that beautiful big window. So, maybe either relocating your tree somewhere else around the house where it can't be seen through the window. Or if you're going to display your tree, that's great. But, the gifts, you might want to wait a little closer to Christmas to put them out and all. And just take some preventative measures so that if somebody is out casing the neighborhood looking for a vulnerable target, that your house is not one of them. So,
and keeping the house lit well as far as that. I mean, it's nice to have lights outside and all that kind of thing, but at the same time, you need to make sure lights coming on and off. And we're going to be talking about it in just a minute when you leave home to go traveling or whatever.
Yes.
But lighting is always critical. And with daylight savings time now, it gets dark so quick. We feel like it's just, being prepared to prevent that bad person from taking advantage of you.
So we want to take a moment to walk around our house. If we have motion lighting or any type of lighting, that it's operating correctly. The beauty of those cameras, on your doorbell, now that you can install cameras all over your house and look at them through your phone is awesome. Because, in our house, one car passes and we get the little chime. We have one in our backyard, and the chime my husband has is dogs barking. So it's pretty funny.
There you go.
But you want to ensure, okay, your locks are operable, all your lights are operating correctly. If you have cameras, are your cameras operating correctly? Making sure that your shrubs are not overgrown and covering the windows, making sure that your gates to your backyard, are secured, your back door, that you're not leaving it unlocked, because sometimes we just get that false sense of security and leave it unlocked. So you want to make sure the door leading to your garage, you want to make sure that's locked when you're leaving the house. So you just want to secure everything. Your garage door, if you're going to, be leaving for the day, you want to secure it than just that one little, bar that goes across the runner. Maybe put some kind of hook or something that's going to prevent somebody from opening that garage door, because it can be manipulated some way, somehow. So you want to make it hard for them.
One thing before we go into the traveling part of it that I have down here, we have not addressed, and we really need to, is what happens if somebody does come up to you, either with a gun or a knife or something, really threatens you. And I know this is real hard for you macho guys out there. Tell them what they're supposed to do now, how to not get injured and not let this be a tragic Christmas holiday season.
So if somebody approaches you wanting your car, your wallet, your purse, as hard as it's going to be for you, you want to just let them have it, because those things are replaceable. You're not. If somebody approaches you wanting to take you, the person, and at that moment you want to do everything possible to get into the survival mode attitude and do anything you can to keep from going with that person. Because if you do wind up going with that person, it's not going to be good. So you want to avoid that as much as possible. Make noise, holler, scream, fight back, whatever it is that you have to do. If an hour later you're speaking to the police about what happened, you did the right thing. Okay? Because whatever you did helped you
survive
and becoming a victim.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. You're a victim at that point, but
but you're surviving.
A victim of a fatality.
Yeah. Well, we hate to talk about that, but that's something we need to be aware of, and so we need to quickly think, and not so much fight for the money and fight for this and that. If it's a credit card, your billfold, your purse, or whatever else,
let them have it.
Let them have it.
Yes.
It's replaceable. You can stop the credit cards. You can get the cash back somehow or another, work a little harder or whatever, but you got your life to work in.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about traveling, because when people are getting ready to leave their home, we just decorated for Christmas. We got the presents at home, but we're going to go visit grandma or grandpa or brother-in-law or something like that. What do we do about making sure our house appears, if nothing else, to be occupied? And let's talk about traveling a little bit, travel safety.
So first and foremost, Waco PD, we offer a vacation house check. It is done by our citizens on patrol. So you simply got to do is call our number 750-1761, and we have a form. We ask you questions like if you have dogs, is there anybody going to be coming by your house? How many cars are outside? So we ask you a variety of questions, and periodically our citizens on patrol will go out and they will, do a house check of your house. If they see something that's out of the ordinary or not on the checklist, they will call our dispatch. Dispatch will send police officers out there to investigate further. So that's something that is provided by Waco PD. Also, you want to call the post office and let them hold your mail. Unless somebody's going to be picking it up for you. If you still get the newspaper, put a hold on that so it won't be piling up, especially if you're gone for like 2 weeks.
These are indicators to show that nobody's home.
Exactly. There's a lot of just things that you can use that that you can place in your house to have the lights come on at different hours and such. And what you want to do if you do have somebody coming in, to maybe, just check the house, friend or family member. Yeah, open them, change the lighting schedule and all, so they won't pick up on it. Let me see. If you have somebody that you trust enough that they can stay there, that's even better. Because they're seeing activity going on, and also, so those are some things that you can do. But our vacation house check is probably the best thing you can do.
It really is. And
you'll
it's free.
know somebody's going to be, yes, it's free. And you'll know somebody is checking up on your house.
And that's part of what your whole department, the Community Outreach and Support Division, does. They're crime preventers. They want to do what they can to help educate and inform our citizens to do what we can to prevent it, so we don't have to call 911 or don't have to call the police department to report a burglary or something like that.
Correct.
And so that's the kind of deal. Real quickly, we've got a couple of minutes left, and I want to touch on something that's somewhat new, though, is internet scams.
Yes.
Talk about that, because so many times we get scammed, and especially the elderly. Moi. We don't think. We're looking for companionship. We're looking for people to talk to or to communicate with.
Yes.
Talk about internet scams.
I mean, it's
and phone scams
social media in general. There's so much now. Before it was just the internet, emails. Now it is Facebook, Instagram. I mean, people can scam you from all different types of social media. So we got to be very wary of it. There's going to be a bunch of folks calling, asking for money for the holidays, for families that are less fortunate than us. You don't want to fall for somebody that's doing a scam just to make money. So the best thing to do is, if you want to donate to charitable causes that are well known, that are legitimate. If somebody calls you out of the blue and with some organization you are not aware of, ask them for their business ID number, or, are they registered with the Better Business Bureau? When you start questioning them, if they start getting upset with you, then that is a red flag right there, that they're up to no good. Else. Exactly. Calling you, wanting you to donate with an iTunes gift card or something like that. That right there in itself should tell you, okay, they're up to no good. Yep. When they start pressuring you, they're up to no good. So if you are going to donate to those organizations that are well known and that are legitimate.
And if it's a phone conversation, if you don't feel comfortable, you control that. You can hang up on them.
Yes.
You do not have to be polite. You can just say, thank you, but have a nice holiday, and then hang up.
Yeah.
And get away from that. So these are just so many things that are people out there ready to scam you. And like you said, there are a number of great organizations out there that need the money.
Yes.
And your money is appreciated when you do it likewise. And if you have them mail you something, and put something in the old mail if you want to. Say, mail me something and I'll take a look at it and I'll pay you. I'll send you a check or something like that.
Right. And normally they don't like that.
They don't like that. So that's what I mean. You just pretty well close the door on them from that. So many things to think about. And we don't want everybody to think negative of the holidays, but we need to think smart. And that's what we're talking about here. And if you want help or you have a question about that, you can call Officer Sophie, and that's what your job is. You love to communicate with people and talk about what it takes to make a secure, safe home around the holidays and to avoid getting victimized, because you all see it in the police department all the time.
Yes, and we want everybody to have the best holiday they can, especially during these COVID times. Especially with COVID, people are going to use that as well. So be very mindful of that. They're going to use COVID to try and possibly get money out of you. Yeah. So just be very alert about these scams. But we're doing this because we want everybody to have the best holiday they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Officer Sophie Martinez with the Community Outreach and Support Division of the Waco Police Department has been our guest. Sophie, always appreciate you. You bring the list of things to talk about every year, and we add to it a little bit.
Yes.
At the very top of this first one, it said, talking about don't let people steal your DVD players. Well,
that was a long time ago.
Things have changed.
Yes.
Thanks for being with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
And thank all of you all for joining us as well for City Talk. We hope you'll join us again next week for more information about the City of Waco here on City Talk. This program is produced by the Municipal Information Department of the City of Waco and is provided as a public service by this station.